All right, Taurus, welcome. This is a timeless intuitive tarot reading, as all my readings are. Although at the moment we will also be looking at energies around the new moon in Aquarius and the full moon in Leo. New moons talk about setting intentions, planting new seeds. In Aquarius, it talks about pioneering, rebelling, freeing ourselves from patterns and people, and even detaching to watch our own selves. The full moon in Leo points to culminations, overflow, feeling what's in our hearts, being in touch with who we really are, and leading others through a full expression of ourselves. Let's open the reading by drawing some overall energies for you, Taurus. My cat is settling deeper into her rest and sleep. Okay, Eight of Swords, worry. Or, self-inflicted imprisonment. Self-inflicted limits. A feeling of being stuck. My OCD playing out here. Okay, also we're looking at the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands talks about competition. It also talks about, not so much competition, I wouldn't say. It talks about standing one's ground. Protecting our truth. This is my truth. And it's not a question of debating what is true and what is not true, if this is true or if that is not true. That's not the point at all. The point is, this is my truth. And my truth is valid. And I can only act from my truth. My truth is that which is in alignment with my being, with my beliefs, with my desires, with my equilibrium, my balance. That is my truth. What is necessary for me, for the expression, the best expression of my existence. So it's not really debatable. And here we're taking stock of that. Or we're building that. What have I put into this truth? What have I put into standing my ground? And what do I still need to invest in standing my ground? So that there is less worry. Or less feeling bound and imprisoned. The more I stand in my truth and stand for my truth, the less imprisoned I feel. This deck is the Druid Tarot deck. I find it lovely in its storytelling. The cards are a bit big for my hands, however. Okay, so we're talking about rebirth. Yeah, that's a nice name. Most decks will call it death. But of course, aspects of ourself need to die in order for a new birth to take place. Aspects of our life need to die in order for new birth, for rebirth to take place. It is a time for a rebirth. It is a good time for being reborn. Remember, we talked about the new moon in Aquarius. It is a freeing from patterns and people, from limits that we even impose and create for ourselves or believe in to be true. Okay, these came out together. 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so we are readjusting our construction. We are back to the drawing board to reevaluate, perhaps, what needs to be reborn, or perhaps the people we are collaborating with. There may be a stubbornness in our ways and how we are going about things and how we are holding on to things, people, places, things, our situations, because it makes us feel safe that way. Or we're actually working on our foundation. And here we have the 7 of Diamonds, of Pentacles as well. So to me, it does indicate that we are actually working on something, on a foundation. Also because this 4 of Pentacles is right at the center of the reading. So there is a rebirth in what we are building, for it to be more aligned with our truth, with where we need to be, for it to be less limiting, or for us to get out of this place of perceiving it to be limiting, of perceiving our ability to build or rebuild to be limited. Ten of Swords, 7 of Wands, again. Five of Wands. So we do feel conflict. Maybe it's talking again about this conflict with others, maybe. The inner conflict of feeling trapped. Feeling trapped in our mind. Feeling trapped by our thoughts. The 5s, you know, they're smack in the middle, so they are like a climax that asks for change. But the sevens, they're also a tension point that is already creating the change. Already taking stock to see, okay, these are the next steps. This is what the next steps are about. So there's a feeling of an unsettling feeling. Although the Ace of Wands, again a 5. The Ace of Wands already also talks about a new beginning, a new spark, a new hope, renewal, the motivation for something new, the feeling of newness, the opportunity to create anew. To build anew. To give new birth. To that which involves our foundation, which we hold very closely because it represents our understanding of security. This came out fast. 10 of Pentacles, yes. Wow, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, actually 4 Pentacle cards. 10 of Pentacles is the culmination of the physical, of the material world. It talks about stability. It talks about plentiness, great satisfaction from this plentiness, from the abundance of resources. So we may indeed be talking here about working on our foundation. The building blocks, what are these? Of our safety, our physical safety and comfort. There is a rebirthing. There is a new incentive, a new push. Because we're looking at getting ourselves out of this conflict, this inner conflict, these self-imposed limited perceptions around the foundation of our physical, material abundance and safety. And satisfaction. Six of Wands. So we move from the Five of Wands to the Six of Wands. So this tells us that there is victory in this. There is victory in the rebirthing, in pursuing the new. In reworking what we're working on, in looking at our collaborations with others, and how these benefit and add to our foundation, to the building blocks of our foundation. There's a coming homeness once we move from the conflict, both outer and inner. We'll move away by trusting our deliberate action. What is the next best step right now for me to act? Instead of being self-imprisoned by worry, taking action towards my fulfillment brings victory, brings the feeling of victory, of coming home. Of becoming calm. Okay, these are flying out. Hangman reversed. So I did take the time to nourish myself. I did take the time to surrender. Surrender the fight. Surrender the conflict. Surrender my understandings. The previous understanding from which I was acting. And I have gained a new sense of enlightenment, new understandings. So that now I become unhanged in order to move again, to act again. There's also a sense, I'm getting that, there's also a sense of gratitude, of giving thanks for all the blessings I do have, for all the collaborations I have had, for the foundation I do have and the ability to continue building that I have at this moment at my disposal, at this abundance, which is so very real and tangible. The Six of Cups and the Page of Cups show its face at the end of the reading, pointed to possibly you know, this theme has been coming up for Tauruses. Possibly a soul connection, a special connection that's in the air right now as I speak. There's a dreaminess around it. There's a daydreaming. Well, it could be called a daydreaming, but there's the energy of a soul connection around us that sometimes pulls us as if it were a daydream. You know, these used to be called daydreams because actually it's an energy that is calling for our attention or for our being in touch with it. Or this soul connection can even talk about our own connection to ourself, to our being, to our past, to our history. And the love for it. Even playfulness around it. The cherishing these stories and connections. And how these tie in with our foundation. This seems to be a big piece to the building, to the victorious and successful building of our foundation. So perhaps it's not only about the material, right? How important is our emotional story, well-being, and connections to our solid, safe, secure, satisfying new foundation that is being built. All right, Taurus. Let's close off with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.